between the #1 seed and unbeaten Falcons of Wheaton North and the #2 seeded 10-1 Lake Park Lancers.
This alignment.
Well, the Lake Park Lancers have won the toss. They will receive, as you see, Nate Hardwick teeing it up at his own 40-yard line. He'll be kicking with a pretty stiff wind here. Back deep for the Lancers, Dave Hochstetter.
Well, you see the snow coming down there. I was going to ask Jeff Meyer if he's got his snow shovel down there and along the sidelines. Keeps this up. Might need it, but yeah, he's certainly seen the white stuff here today and this evening as well.
Yep. There's Hochstetter, and also back deep is #22, Ryan Lynn for Lake Park. And we are underway here, the quarterfinal matchup here at Rexilius Field. Hochstetter from his own 10 across the 25, and he'll get brought down at the 30-yard line, and that's where the Lancers will take over. A 20-yard return for Dave Hochstetter. So that's where Andy Livingston's Lancers will take over. Lake Park, the double wing offense, a quarterback Joey Albin, Dave Hochstetter, Mike Minotti, and Brad Nebel, Ryan Savoca, Dave Pfeiffer, Adam Wallach, Kyle Hawkins, Adam Parakis, Chris Hawkins, and Steve Lemke, the offensive unit here for the Lancers. Andy Livingston in his 9th year as the head coach at Lake Park. Only one loss, that of course coming in week 8 of the regular season to Bartlett. And the first man through, this is David Pfeiffer, and Pfeiffer will get a couple off the left side, and it'll be 2nd down and 8 as we'll take a look at this Falcon defense. Justin Allen, what a game he had last week against York. Ryan Coop, Ian Shaw, Akeem Millington, heading to the University of Oklahoma. Michael Selly, Brett Bolwig, Bob McLaren, Kevin Keogh, Kevin Herda, Kyle Vogt, and Nate Hardwick, the starting defensive unit for the Falcons. 2nd down and 8 for the Lancers. The pitch is to Minotti, and Minotti tries to turn the corner, and he'll get a couple as he gets forced out of bounds at the 35. Steve, it'll bring up 3rd and 5 here for the Lancers.
Falcons definitely stringing that play out, forcing him to the outside. We'll take another look at it. The pressure right there, and then cutting, making him move a little bit farther out to the outside. Great job by Matthew Cuba. I'm sorry, rather Bob McLaren for the Falcons.
Sean Sung, who missed last week's game, Steve, due to a foot injury, is not out there tonight for Wheaton North. 3rd down and 5, Joey Albin and the Lancers out of the gun. Albin looking to his left, and it is almost picked off by Bob McLaren, the outside linebacker, and it'll bring up 4th down. McLaren with a huge game last week against the York Dukes.
3 sacks last week, seemed like he was all over the field. Had some very big plays. We'll see another one right here. Tell you what, he just turned around at the last minute here. You'll see it, and just reached up and batted it down. If he had turned a little sooner, might have had a little bit better gauge on that football. Maybe he could have picked that one off.
You see his numbers in the playoffs there, McLaren. Nate Hardwick is back for Wheaton North. Lindahl, the kick, and it goes off the side of his foot at the 44-yard line. Only a 21-yard punt, excuse me, for Lindahl, and that's where the Wheaton North Falcons will take over their first offensive possession. Take a look at the offensive unit here for Wheaton North. Zach Ulrich, the quarterback. Brett Bolwick, Jacob Deitch, the wideouts, Spencer, Bradley, Hardwick. Up front, Coop Shaw, Joe Little, Akeem Millington, and Sean Williams. Last week, first 2 offensive plays went to Brett Bolwick. We'll see what the Falcons do here. It's a play action. Ulrich looking deep across the middle, looking for Hardwick, and it is knocked away by Ryan Lynn, the corner.
Hardwick looked at the official immediately, hoping for a penalty there, but the ball underthrown. Everybody just going for the football.
Defensively, there you see Ricky Van Dyke, Kevin Cagney, Mike Cotton, Matt Petralia, Joel Soltis, Ronnie Lindahl, Douglas DiBasilio, Kwame Ajiman, Franco Chenault, Andy Little, and Ryan Lynn, the 2 corners.
Ronnie Lindahl actually is the leading tackler on this Lancer squad.
2nd down and 10 for the Falcons. And the quarterback draw is to Ulrich, and Ulrich will get to the 48-yard line, brought down by Kevin Gagney, the the 5'9" junior defensive tackle.
Here you see Ulrich's numbers for the playoffs, and he's put up some tremendous numbers over his career mark. He started the 8th week of his sophomore year. He's been the starting quarterback ever since. He's thrown for 4,228 yards, 42 touchdowns since that time, over 2,000 yards throwing. This year, 23 touchdowns, and the unanimous all DuPage Valley Conference selection.
3rd down and 5 now for Zach Ulrich. Ulrich has some time. Bolwick here to the screen, and Bolwick will get wrapped up at the 49-yard line by Ricky Van Dyke. Back to the original line of scrimmage, maybe a yard on the play, but that's about it. And so the Falcons will punt it away here.
Take another look at it. Ulrich rolling that way and then turns, throws back. The screen pass to Bolwick. And several Lancers just stayed at home. A good defensive job that time not to over-pursue the football.
David Pfeiffer and Ryan Lynn are back for the Lancers. Zach Ulrich, standing at his own 37, will punt it away here for the Falcons.
Uh-oh.
Oh, and it's blocked. Kwame Ajiman has the block.
Wow.
Matt Petralia puts it in the end zone for the Lancers. So special teams. Kwame Ajiman, a 42-yard return by Matt Petralia, and Lake Park is on top first.
Petralia just came through. They turned around and reached out and snared the football out of the air. I tell you what, I think Ulrich thought he had a little bit more time. He was very methodical in catching the football and getting the foot to it, and it allowed Ajiman to come in there and get a hand on it.
So now coming in for the extra point attempt, Anthony Pavone. The hold by Ryan Lynn. The extra point by Pavone is good, so special teams a factor here in the early going, and the Lake Park Lancers are on top of the unbeaten Wheaton North Falcons here by a score of 7-0, 9 minutes and 29 seconds remaining here in this opening quarter.
Well, that could be a little wake-up call for the Falcons. We'll take another look at it.
Ajiman right in the middle
right there.
He came in with the block.
Well, again, speed so many times. You can't teach kids foot speed, and you either have it or you don't. Ajiman faked to the right. You saw him cut to the inside, and he got right in there, both hands on the football. Caught a Falcon blocker flat-footed.
So Anthony Pavone, as you take a look at Nate Hardwick, he is back deep for the Falcons. 42-yard punt return, or block punt return, I should say, by Matt Petralia. And the Lancers are on top here, 7-0. Of course, as we mentioned, Wheaton North struggling a little bit in that second half last week against the York Dukes. All 21 of their points coming in the first half a week ago. Spencer from his own 20. And Spencer spins across the 35 and will finally get brought down at the 41-yard line. 20-yard return by Darian Spencer. And so the second possession for head coach Matt Foster and the Wheaton North Falcons.
25-yard return for Darian Spencer, and he's returned a few this year and been on the receiving end as well. 37 receptions last year, 38 this year for Darian. You need him to get his hands on the football a few more times here tonight. 1st and
10 Wheaton North from their own 42. Here is Hardwick, and Hardwick will get hit at the line of scrimmage. Nothing doing there, as that middle was plugged up in a hurry there. Mike Cotton, among others, was there.
Wow. Hardwick got a hard stick there, to say the least. It looked like Cagney, Kevin Cagney as well right there to just shoot the gap and really hammer him. Loss of about a half a yard in the play, Mark. Here you see Andy Livingston on the far side.
4 wide receivers now for Wheaton North. 2nd down and 11, so they actually lost a yard on the play. Quick drop Ulrich with a hit to the far side, and it is incomplete. Bradley, Matt Bradley, the intended receiver, and it'll bring up 3rd down and long here for Wheaton North.
It didn't look like Matt Bradley was ready for that play. That's just a quick hitch pattern to the outside, and he stopped and did not keep his feet and didn't react to the football very well. He may not have been the first option necessarily on that play.
3rd down and 11 now for Wheaton North. 8:41 to go here in this opening quarter. Ulrich out of the shotgun. Bolwig is a lone setback there alongside of him. Ulrich, and before this one gets underway, we've got flags thrown. First penalty marker of the night. Anthony Canella will tell us what it's all about, and it will be procedure against Wheaton North. So it'll be 3rd and 16.
Talked about the Falcons' difficulties offensively, especially last week in the second half. They went the entire 3rd quarter with just 1 first down, 36 yards of total offense. Is all they were able to manage. Ran only 9 plays in the 4th quarter.
3rd and 16 from their own 37. Ulrich has some time across the middle, and the pass is incomplete. Intended for Hardwick. Oh, it's almost picked off by Ajima. So it'll bring up 4th and long here, Steve. And again, the Falcons will punt it away, and their offensive struggles continue.
From the shotgun, looking to his right. And he looks right to the middle of the field here. And steps up and just completely throws it behind his receiver. Not in sync at all right now are the Falcons offensively. Ulrich, by the way, Mark, 1 of 4 here for a yard.
Ulrich stands at his 25-yard line to kick it away.
Pfeiffer, number 28, is back deep for, actually Ryan Lynn is back deep. And at his own 23-yard line. Across the 30, 35, and 40, a nice return to the 43-yard line. And so Lake Park with excellent field position here with 8 minutes and 18 seconds to go here in the opening quarter. Take a look at the schedule there for Lake Park, and that week 1 there, the come from behind victory over Naperville Central, 20-17, and the rest of the way, you see the L there, the 14 points. That's the lowest offensive output of the season, was that week 8 against Bartlett.
And that was a game the Hawks of Bartlett scored with just 7 seconds remaining to win that game.
The middle, and nothing doing there as the Wheaton North defense plugged it up.
Lake Park definitely had a lot of returning juniors from last year's team that was very successful. Got beat in the first round by Sandberg last year. Take another look at that. He almost lost. He did lose the handle on that initially. Wow. He was lucky to get that back, Mark. From our angle, we couldn't see that. That ball popped free immediately on the handoff, and luckily he was able to fall back on it.
2nd down and 11, the second man through. This is Hochstetter, and Hochstetter maybe a yard to the 42, 43-yard line, but that's about it. Bob Svengros was there on the stop for Wheaton North.
These Lancers certainly gained a lot of valuable experience last year, and you mentioned the come from behind victory in week 1, and they've certainly shown some moxie throughout the year, and they avenged that Sandberg loss the first round of the playoffs with the week 2 34-0 shellacking over Sandberg. They've just continued on a roll ever since then.
3rd down and 10. Albin out of the shotgun. They'll set up the screen to Minotti. And Minotti will have the first down and more inside the 40, 30, 20, and Minotti is in. Touchdown, Mike Minotti. 57-yard pass from Joey Albin. Just a little screen to the far side, and Mike Minotti is in.
Wow.
Minotti, who last week rushed 14 times, 89 yards, comes up with a 57-yard scamper there on the far side, and Lake Park is on top 13-0.
The Lancers have certainly caught the Falcons back in their heels.
Pavone now in for the extra point, and it is good. So, wow, what a surprise here at Rexilius Field. 6 minutes and 56 seconds remaining here in this opening quarter. The Lake Park Lancers on top of the #1 seed and currently unbeaten Wheaton North Falcons, 14-0.